Yesterday was the drift event which I hosted and it was an absolute blast. Everyone had a great time. I did 2 live streams, so if you haven't seen them, go check them out. And I always say to myself, well, this time I'm going to make a vlog about it, but then yeah, I'm just talking to everyone, drifting, then I completely forget about filming itself. Open every Sunday, 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And it's now, yeah boy, 10 o'clock on Sundays. Let's go to the practice. I bought this thing here, gloves, then a stainless steel brush, some aluminum to practice my welding on. I can't wait to weld the intercooler system for the 2JZ Volvo and have it running. It's such an awesome project. This is where we left last time. Changing the timing belt, then cleaning up the engine. And of course, what I'm going to do today, intercooler. This is a huge ass intercooler. Yeah, it's it's quite big. It's a great feeling to have the Volvo 940 2JZ back in the workshop. It's super awesome. Can't wait to start working on it. So yeah, this is the size of the intercooler. As you can see, it's quite big and quite heavy. Today I'll be doing some welding with my brand new Tig welding machine. It can do AC and DC, so I can also weld aluminum. I already played with it for a little bit, welding some mild steel, but now I want to weld some aluminum. So first I'm going to practice, and then hopefully my practice welds are good enough to weld the actual intercooler piping. This thing is fucking expensive, 20 liters of argon. So in total it costs a lot, but the things you can do with it, it's absolutely magnificent. My tool collection is expanding pretty rapidly. Angle grinder, really important. And of course, these things for oil filter, valve clearance, brake fluid extractor, etc, etc. You'll see it once we need it. This was just trying to figure out the settings. As you can see, it was way too hot. Now I set it to pulse and it already looks a whole lot better. So I'm going to practice a little bit more, or a whole lot more, then try to join 2 of these aluminum strips together. But I must say, welding is really fun and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Let me take a look at the time. It's now 3 o'clock, so I've been practicing for like 1.5 hours. And check out my latest welds. I know they're not super pretty, but I must say I'm pretty proud of them, because like I said, this is the first time welding and the only thing I did was check out online videos on how to weld. Mr. Tig from weld.com and I believe Weld Tips and Tricks, something like that. Those 2 channels. Watched like 3 hours of their content. I was going to weld the pipes, but turns out just sawing them in half and getting some couplers, everything fits right up. The intercooler, yeah, this thing will also be blue. I got it laying around here. Need to shorten it, but everything fits. And as you can see, yeah, take a look. The intercooler is huge. It fits perfectly inside the engine bay of Volvo and it looks like it's supposed to be there, so that's great. First let me get the car a bit higher. That's as high as it will go. So what I'm going to do, I got some thick aluminum. I'm going to make a strip here and a strip here. Which will go like this on the bottom of it. And this stuff is pretty rigid, but maybe I'm going to make it a little bit more rigid. Why I'm choosing aluminum? Well, it's a whole lot lighter than steel and I really want to practice my welding on aluminum. Steel is a little bit easier, so I thought, well, why not try aluminum? And like I said, it's also lighter. Always make sure that the surface is 100% clean. So now I got a wire brush in there and then some acetone because you can't use brake cleaner. If you use brake cleaner, it creates toxic gases and you don't want that. So this is cleaned. Now let me grind a few tungstens and then we can start welding. Well, the aluminum weld's actually starting to look like something. I need to add a little bit more filler here on the end, as you can see. But so far, pretty happy with the result. Now let's do the other side. And I really need a proper welding table. That also will make things a whole lot easier. Boy, I didn't make it too far, but baby you are the family star. I'm packing those scenes, don't lose your brain. Boy, you hear me calling your name. This will be going on like this. No, wait. Like this. And then I'm going to weld a strip of aluminum to this one and to this side, of course. It will go across here. Maybe on the strip of aluminum I'm going to also weld a T. Well, welding without poles and a little bit harder is actually easier. I'm going to let this cool down for a bit and then I'm going to do another pass on it. That way it looks all nice and shiny, and then I'm going to weld it to the other aluminum thing. Yeah, quite happy with it. So I finished welding the aluminum intercooler bracing and I must say, pretty happy with the result. This one will go on the bottom, so it will mount up to the holes and then onto the chassis, and this one will go straightly onto the mounts for the cover on top of here. The next thing will be bolting everything down. First, of course, drill some holes in it, bolt it to the intercooler, bolt it to the chassis, and of course get some hose clamps on everything. Since the hoses are also pretty stiff, you don't really need a lot of bracing, just to make sure it stays in place so it doesn't go up and down. Rodi will be here this weekend, and then we're going to continue on cleaning the engine and doing a few other things like making a custom shifter. Right now there isn't a shifter at all. A few other things needs to be done, and then we're almost there.